Donald Trump's unpredictable stance on tariffs has left exporting nations worried. At the top of that list is China and several European countries. So it should not surprise anyone that Europe and China have initiated talks at the top level amid the escalating trade war kick started by Trump's decision to impose tariffs on core countries the US has a trade deficit with. On Tuesday, EU reached out to China. Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, spoke with Chinese Prime Minister. As per reports, they discussed offering a negotiated resolution to the widespread disruption caused by the US tariffs. This, after the US decided to impose 104% tariff on China after China slapped a 34% tariff on all US imports. Which of course was in response to the 54% tariffs put initially by the US on China.
Do not retaliate and you will be rewarded. So every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you. We're going to go down to a 10% baseline tariff for them, and China will be raised to 125 due to their insistence on escalation. I'm not calling it a trade war, but I am saying that China has escalated, and President Trump responded very courageously to that, and we are going to work on a solution with our trading partners.
On the call, von der Leyen urged Li Qiang of the need to avoid further escalation. At the end of March, Trade Commissioner Maro Ifovi visited China in a bid to renew diplomatic ties with the Asian giant against a background of worsening trade relations between the pair. The EU is seeking to fight over capacities that threaten to spill over onto the European market after being diverted from the US because of the tariffs imposed by the US administration. According to the Commission statement, von der Leyen and Li Qiang discussed setting up a mechanism for tracking possible trade diversion. Von der Leyen announced on Monday that the EU will strengthen its work on overcapacities by setting up an import surveillance task force. EU-China relations were on the agenda at Monday's meeting of EU trade ministers in Luxembourg. Asked whether the EU intended to pivot towards China amid worsening trade relations with the US, an EU diplomat said, "We will not trade off US relations for China relations. Our aim is not to deteriorate transatlantic relations." The EU is still hoping to find a negotiated solution with the US since the American administration imposed a series of tariffs on EU imports.